one of my biggest takeaways is Draymond Green's stat line was horrific. It was 1 of 4. He had more fouls than he did shot attempts. He had 3 assists. And this is a guy that impacted the game so much in Game 2. We said he was the best player on the floor because he led team in all of assists, in minutes played. He was a tenacious rebounder. He set the tone. And for me, when you watch Golden State last night, even though Stephen Curry was doing his thing, even though Klay Thompson found his rhythm, which is a great sign for them going into Game 4,
for sure.
It just felt like that was my biggest thing, Key. Like that Draymond Green effect, it wasn't there. Like him and Steph were being targeted last night. Like Marcus Smart, whenever he got Steph on him, was targeting Steph offensively, taking his legs away. And it was the same. There was one possession, Max and Key, where Jaylen Brown waved Derek White away and said, "Get away, I don't need a damn screen." Because he was setting the tone going against Draymond Green and got to the bucket.
82% of the time, this is a stat that's been bandied about, the team that wins Game 3 of the NBA Finals when it's tied up 1-1, not when one team has a 2-0 advantage, but when it's 1-1, the winner of Game 3 wins 82% of the time. So, guys, both of you thought the Warriors would win the series, as did I. Has that changed? Has it changed for you, Jay?
A lot depends on Stephen Curry, man. I got to see how it comes out. It's unfortunate. It reminds me a lot of 2016 when he got hurt again, having a guy in Al Horford, Key, that is 6'9", 245 pounds, that falls on your leg that way, a lower ankle, foot injury. It seems like these things always come back to haunt Steph. You can't control it. It's so unfortunate because I want to see him healthy. He's having an NBA Finals type of series. But damn, man, like that injury did not look good last night. And I know he hobbled off the floor, but that's not a good sign for them moving forward. If he's not available or if he's not himself, it's going to be hard for them to win the series.
Look, he gets a day's rest. He gets the rest up today. He'll be back on the floor tomorrow, according to him. He feels like he'll be able to play. I think it's setting him up for a miracle finish. Hey, Game 3, he gets hurt. Oh, my God, Steph fought through it. Look at the threes. It sets up that whole conversation that'll lead into Game 4, back in Game 5, back to Golden State. So it's a good thing. I don't look at it as a bad thing. Now, the question initially was from you on whether or not they can finish the deal like we predicted. I do believe they can if he's on the floor. If he's not on the floor, it's going to be really, really hard. I think any team that loses their top dog, if all of a sudden Jason Tatum disappears from the Boston Celtics or Marcus Smart disappears from the Boston Celtics, LeBron James disappears from the Lakers, you don't have a chance. And it's the same way with Stephen Curry.
Key, even if he's on the floor, but he's not himself, they ain't winning the series, man. They're not.
Of course.
Of course. Like he needs to be healthy. Like he has been prolific this NBA Finals, man. He's made 5 or more threes multiple times in his career, the only player in NBA history to do so in the Finals. He's averaging 31 points per game.
I don't care what anyone says. He's having his best Finals of his career so far. Game 1, I didn't like the fact that I thought he faded in the second half. He still wound up with 34. He had a big first half. Games 2 and 3, Steph answered the bell when his team needed him to, scoring in ways I have not seen. I saw flashes of it in the Toronto series, right? But on the non-KD teams, I haven't seen what he's done so far. But Key, you bring up, and Jay, you bring up, 16, come on, Max, he had the ankle. So if this winds up where he's playing, Key, but it's kind of a 2016 situation, do you think they can win anyway because there's no LeBron James on the other side? Because Steph has gotten older and wiser? Or is that going to make it tougher for them to win?
No, I think much like Jay just said, he has to be prolific and 100% in order for them to win. Now, what is 100%? I don't think right now he's not going to be 100% because he got injured. So the 100% thing goes out the window. But I think if he could be really effective and he can knock down shots at times, they can still find themselves in the win category. But if not, it's gonna be real tough. I think they all know that. But look, here's what I would say. To the eyes, the injury always looks worse than what it naturally could be, especially when you have a certain feel for yourself on what your injuries are, how you bounce back, how you come back. If you think about when he was injured in the regular season, when he finally got back, that first game, he was cooking. I mean, he looked like normal kind of Steph Curry. So I think he'll be fine. I just feel that he'll be fine. Somehow, some way, they'll put some dust on the ankle, rub it a little bit, and he'll be good.
Rub some dirt on it. It's time for Straight Talk, brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. Here is Steve Kerr on whether there's any concern about Steph's injury.
No. You mean when they dove on the floor for the jump ball? Yeah. I kept him in the game.
Right, and then you took him out at the 2-minute mark.
I took him out with 2 minutes left because we were down by 14 points. So
no concern for Steph moving forward.
I didn't say that. The injury didn't force him out of the game, but I took him out down 14 with 2 minutes left because we weren't going to catch up. We'll know more tomorrow.
That's interesting because that's the first time I heard the Steve Kerr post-game interview. So that's interesting to me. You see right there, he's saying that's not the reason Steph left the game.
The game was
over. But think about what he said. He said that's not the reason he left the game.
But he still
tells me
he didn't say I'm not concerned when they said
well,
not concerned.
That's factual.
He's not gonna minimize a dude's injury.
But Key, if you're Steph, here's how you have to look at this situation, even if you are hobbled, right? The opportunity for greatness is something a lot of players talk about.
Yes.
And it's here. The opportunity for greatness is here.
Why would you say that, Jay?
Well, because you have to look at it being optimistic if you're Steph, right?
No, I say, why would you say the greatness part? Because the guy sitting next to you is going to scream and holler and smile from cheek to cheek.
Because my thing
hates the narrative.
No, it's not a narrative. It's something that internally for Steph, if you're focusing on it, right? If you've been playing your ass off up until this point, like it's pretty much a consensus that everybody thinks about him as the NBA Finals MVP thus far, even though they're down 2-1. Okay, like we're trying to give the trophy to Stephen Curry.
Oh, this just helps. This is going to create that drama.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus right now.